Well, I just got back from a long day out here on the California Delta, throwing topwater. It's almost July, we're in the very end of June right now, and it got me thinking. I got home, put the boat away, sat down on the patio. I'm going to relax for a few minutes, and I started thinking about throwing topwater baits, and thought I'd film a quick post here real quick about some of my favorite topwaters. Some of these you're probably familiar with, a few of them you may not be. So we're going to go over my top 5 favorite topwater baits to throw in the summertime. The first one is the Super Spook. Nationwide, everybody knows what these are. Everybody throws them. It's your basic walk the dog style topwater bait. But these things just flat catch fish. You just can't say enough for them. They work. Love the Super Spook. Number 4, the Popper. This one happens to be a Yellow Magic. There's a lot of different brands. There's a lot of poppers out there that work, but these things just catch fish. When nothing else will, the water starts getting warm going into summer, but eventually it gets hot. Just downright hot. The fish start getting sluggish, and that's when the popper comes into play. And a lot of people seem to have forgotten about it, especially out here on the West Coast. These things work. This is the majority of the fish I caught on the water today, I caught on a popper. They were just eating it up. These things are great. Fish them slow. The fish don't have to chase it down. They can just come up and eat the bait. Deadly. The next one, the Frog. This is a snag-proof Barrick's Perfect frog. That's the number 1 frog I throw. I love these things. This one actually happens to be in a bluegill color too. And I'll tell you why. Basically, when I throw topwaters, I'm really only imitating 2 things. Either a bluegill or some kind of a general bait fish. Something that covers shad, hitch, shiners, all that stuff. So it's either bluegill or that general bait fish profile. So even when I throw a frog, I'm usually just trying to imitate a bluegill. It's just a different look. You can get it into tighter cover, in where you can't get other topwaters. But one thing that's overlooked is throwing these in open water. And I mean completely open water. I throw these on crystal clear reservoirs that don't have any weeds on them at all. Throw them out in totally open water, and the reason why is the fish just don't see them. So it works great. That's number 3. Number 2 is something called a JSJ. This is a bait you may not be familiar with. Josh St. John is the guy that makes this. I throw it in 2 basic colors again, either bluegill or that general bait fish shiner type profile. I love these things. These are a wake bait. All over the country you hear people talk about wake baits, but depending on where you are, that means something entirely different. So what these are, these wake baits, is this one you can see has 3 different joints in it. What it does is, as you're reeling it through the water on a steady retrieve, it's going to have a very fluid, natural motion, but then you can twitch it, jerk it, pause it, and the bait will turn and cut and be very, very erratic. It also comes in a 2-joint version, and that one is just all over the place, cutting, diving, throwing water. They're very, very aggressive baits. They're a lot of fun to fish, and they put big fish in the boat all summer long. Now my number 1, my favorite topwater bait to throw in the summertime is something called a Lunker Punker. It's made by Black Dog Baits. These things are just a blast. I don't always catch the most fish on them, although a lot of the time I do, but they're just fun to fish. Again, bluegill profile, shad profile. But basically what this is, if you're not familiar with it, is another walk the dog style bait. Very similar to a Super Spook. The general difference is size. It's a much larger bait. It makes an entirely different sound. Much, much different sound. Moves a lot more water. And fish are very, very aggressive around this bait. It is just too much fun to fish. I don't care where you live. I don't care if you live in Florida or California or you live clear out in Minnesota or New York. It does not matter. All 5 of these baits will work. Everywhere in the country, bass eat other fish, and this stuff will catch fish for you in the summertime. So I hope you can take some of that and apply it and go catch some more fish. Have a great night.